How's it going, you guys? Another Q&A, and we are obviously inside today. It is storming out there and it is so windy, so I don't want to be outside. So we've come inside, and I've never filmed a video inside like this, so we'll see if lighting and if audio is even somewhat decent. So if either are bad, I do apologize. So we're going to jump into this Q&A video. We did 6 videos this week. Actually, before we jump into this, I do need to say, those of you that watched the video where I planted bulbs and my neighbor texted me and interrupted me in the best way possible, she is working on a cookbook, and if you guys have a recipe, she's calling it like something about like heritage, so she wants to add recipes in there that have a story. So if you guys have a recipe that you think is really good and has a little backstory to it, if you guys want to email her, I'm going to pop the email up on the screen and I will put it down in the description down below. Email her the recipe and a little bit of a story behind it. We're going to work on filming and taking pictures of those recipes, making those recipes, and turning the whole thing into a cookbook. So if you've got something that you really love, send it. She wants to add a few from other people to her cookbook. So add that in there if you've got something, and it's going to be a while. we have a lot to do and a lot to go over, and this is just the beginning steps of that cookbook. So it's going to be really, really good, and I can't wait for you guys to see all that. So like I said, email those over if you've got them, and her name is Karen, and she's like the sweetest person ever. So we did 6 videos this week. We did the Q&A, which was favorite tulip color, and does Brent like plant shopping? Some days don't go as planned. Then we did my first of many bulbs planted, and after that was it's time decorating for the holidays, trying to find some antique ornaments and getting our tree up, and then pruning the vitex and starting Lisianthus extremely early. So that was 6 videos, really, really busy week. This coming week though is going to only be a total of 5 videos. So we're gonna take Thanksgiving Day off from posting, so it'll be Q&A, 2 videos, a day off, and then 2 more videos. So it's still 5 videos instead of 6. Let's jump into the questions though. The first video was the Q&A. And so the first question on that video is from Deborah Perkins, and she had said, "Hi Robbie, we all know you love to cook and bake. Have you thought about a second channel?" No. I think you guys are gonna have to suffer and watch some cooking and baking videos, especially as it gets colder and I have less things that I can do outside, especially when we have a storm rolling in and I cannot film when it's raining and extremely windy out there. So there's going to be a lot of baking and cooking videos coming your guys' way. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry. And the next question is from user, but one of you guys had commented a while ago saying instead of user, just say friend. And personally, I really like that idea. So I don't remember who said that, but whoever did, thank you. And I'm definitely gonna take that idea. So next question is from friend, and they had said, "Hi, maybe I missed the video about your duck Lola. I was just wondering what happened." Yeah, I answered that forever ago, but Lola is over at Mason's house and he takes care of her and they get along way too well. So she's been over there for a few months now and she is loving her life over there. So that's where she's at, right across the street. We still hear her every single day. Next question on that video is from Carol, and she had said, "Hi Robbie, my husband and I love your fire pit. We are seriously thinking of getting one for our patio. My question is, have you roasted hot dogs?" Hot dogs can drip, and didn't know if dripping hot dogs mess up the fire pit. I know that you roast marshmallows and that could fall into the fire pit too. I just didn't know what kind of mess that would make. We usually just have used wood for wiener roast. Your thoughts? I've never done hot dogs on it. I don't know if I would do hot dogs on it though. I mean, it's got like a metal bowl, and so it's got rocks in it, so I don't see it would be like too big of an issue. After a while, I would just say you could just, buy a new bag of lava rocks or buy that glass rock and replace it after a while. I don't think it would be that big of an issue. I mean, Mason spilled marshmallows on it, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. And most of it'll burn off anyways. It's just the little like ring that the fire comes out of. I would say it's fine. I love the fire pit. I'll link that down below too. best cheap little fire pit. It's actually sitting out in the rain right now, so I'm not somebody who's going to bring that in during a storm. Next question on that video was from a friend, and they had said, can you catch voles in mouse traps and gophers in large traps? Oh, no, you can. You can. Okay. I didn't know that. We should probably put some mouse traps down those holes because they are popping up everywhere now. There's 2 of them by the shed and a couple in the aviary. We put one of those smoke bombs down there and they ended up, I think, just blocking the smoke off of it. So we're gonna have to figure something else out. I'm gonna look into the mouse traps. Also, can I throw a hint? Brent's laughing. Can I throw in here a hint to a happy marriage? Show just a little interest in your partner's interest. If I can help my husband get a deer, you can talk about cars once in a while. Hope that doesn't sound bossy, but it comes from 50 years of marital experience. Okay, I talked to him about cars, and he has a car show on all the time, and I talked to him about cars. It's usually like in the morning, first thing in the morning, that he talks to me about cars. And I haven't had coffee or a Red Bull yet. And you guys should see the videos he sends me. They're always about cars. We talk about cars. I do show slight interest. The next video is some days just don't go as planned. And a deal of a lifetime. And oh, that was a deal of a lifetime. I'm still so happy I got that deal. And if you missed it, I got terracotta pots, $21. I don't know, it was like deal of a lifetime on those terracotta pots. They were amazing. Yeah, so, okay, questions. Mary had said, what if you used a little sandpaper on that sticker residue? I'm gonna try it because the one that we still have in the side yard has some of that sticker residue. So I will try it and see if it works. I've tried putting some like Goo Gone stuff, and it's kind of oily before, and so it leaves a residue. It stains the terracotta pot, so I don't want to do that. So I'll try sandpaper. I'll let you know how it works. If it doesn't work, it's fine. I'll just turn that section to the back. Next question on that video was from Peggy, and she had said, love garden math. Use it all the time. It's the best. Free. What a great score on the terracotta pots. Question. Have you considered spray painting the metal wall hanging by the chicken coop in that lovely green? I think that it would be stunning. I thought about it, but I'm going to be building raised beds pretty soon. I would like to get raised beds there, so I don't even know what I'm going to do with that metal hanging thing. It's supposed to be an indoor decoration. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's not going to stay there because there's going to be raised beds right in front of there. So thought about it, but not anymore. Next question on that video was from Lindy, and she had said, score on the pots. Love those kind of shopping trips. Great video of the multiple projects. Please tell us more about the drill scrubbers. I have been thinking about getting one. What else do you use them for? Brent bought a pack of like 5 of them for like 18 bucks or something like that off of Amazon, and we use them on everything. So we had one that we had for inside, and he would use it to like clean the shower basin. We have one that we scrub pots with or do like projects that are like really dirty. We use one in our fountain. When the fountain starts to grow algae, we clean it on that. I mean, anything that needs to be cleaned, we use those on there. It's amazing. I mean, obviously we're not bringing like the outdoor ones indoor, and like the one that I just like scrub bird poop off of, I'm not going to use like to clean the sink. That would be really gross. But it was like a pack of 5 off of Amazon for like 20 bucks. And as they just wear out, we just toss them and buy new ones because they're so incredibly cheap. Next question on that video is from Mitzi, and she had said, hello, Mitzi here again. I need to know, what is your coffee drink of choice? I prefer, if I'm going to do hot coffee, a white mocha. I don't really like cold coffee, so like iced coffee doesn't really do it for me. If I'm going to do a cold drink, I prefer lemonade or green tea lemonade. But white mocha is kind of like the only thing that I drink. Or if I make coffee at home, which I'm not good at, I will just do like coffee with more than a splash of cream. I went down to Janie's house and we made coffee. She's all, you want a little coffee with that creamer there? Yeah. Next question on that video was from Adriana, and she had said, Robbie, how do you keep your lemon cypress alive? I had 2 that died on me. I am zone 9B. Give me answers, please. So the biggest thing is that you want to give them moisture. I've noticed that if I keep them in pots for too long, they die. If I bring them inside, they die. They like a lot of water. They're a tree. So you have to treat them like a tree. A lot of people treat them as little annual houseplants, and they don't care if they die. But I mean, I'm trying to get them to grow in my landscape, and so they get protection from the hot afternoon sun. They do get morning sun until probably about 2 o'clock during the summer months, and they get a ton of water, like a ton of water, and that's how they grow fast. If it's not getting enough water, it's going to die. If it gets too much sun, they're going to die. So give them a little bit of protection from that hot afternoon sun, and don't keep them in a pot too long unless you have it hooked up directly to irrigation, which we have one growing in a container and it's hooked up to irrigation, and that's the only thing that's its saving grace. Next question on the video was from Linda, and she had said, "Hi Robbie, love the look of your topiary. Maybe buy a few when they're on sale. Shape them up to sell them. You're very good at it. On another note, would you be interested in growing lettuce, strawberries, etc. in a green stock? I think it would help with the slugs and whatever else is eating your veggies." I have this problem where I need everything at all times to be aesthetically pleasing. And I don't think the green stalks are like super aesthetically pleasing, especially because I'm trying to go for that like formal cottage garden vibe, and they feel very like urban to me. Also, I just don't love the look of the plastic. So I know they come in a whole bunch of different colors, and I've tried to convince myself to like them because I think that they would be so incredibly convenient. And I think if I lived in Chico and I was still on a small lot, I would 100% invest in them because you can grow so much in, a couple square feet because you can grow vertically. So I do think that they're a really, really good idea, but I just don't think that they're the look that I'm going for. If there was something else that had the look I was going for, which I don't even know what that would be, that wasn't plastic, I probably would buy it for this garden. But just with the look and the vibe I'm trying to achieve, I think that a plastic tower would kind of like throw it off. But I do think that they are like an amazing invention, especially for people that are in small gardens. I think anybody who's doing like patio gardening or people that are on city lots 100% should invest in them. And I mean, if I had a whole bunch of property and I had like a growing house or a hoop house or something like that, I would probably buy a few. But because we're on a 1/4 of an acre, I'm trying to be super selective about what we add on to the property here. So I think I'm gonna have to pass on them for our property here, but I would definitely buy them if we weren't here in this property. Next question on that video was from Teresa, and she had said, "Robbie, your garden math is spectacular." Thank you. Great find on those pots. I'll have to check out my Home Depot to see if I can find if I can also find a garden math deal. You should. I love the pot feet. Did you find them at a nursery, big box store, online? Thanks for another great video with a great topiary tutorial. Thank you. So those little feet pot we just picked up at Home Depot. I think they're like $7 or $8, super cheap to get from Home Depot. Actually, I've only bought one online and I bought it from Etsy, and I'm gonna pop a picture up of what those look like, and they're so cute. I love the little green man face on them, and they're a resin material, so they're not terracotta. We've had them sitting outside for about 3 years, and they've held up so beautifully, and I just love the little like secret accent that they bring. It's not something that you would normally expect. You would expect just the normal terracotta ones, and so I like the color of them. They're the terracotta color, but they've got a little whimsy to them. So Home Depot for basic ones, super cheap, or those ones which were like a investment, and those ones are from Etsy, and I will link those down below. Next video was the first of many bulbs planted and the best interruption, and this is the one where my neighbor Karen had came over and she brought us the friendship bread that was gone. It didn't last very long here at all. Next question on the video was from Yam, and she had said, "Robbie, your birds are canaries? Maybe one day you talk about them." They are finches of some sort. I think that they're zebra finch, and we got them from just a local pet supply place, and I think they were like $12 when we first started buying them. We had 5. Now we have 15. They multiply like crazy. They're terrible mothers, and we leave them outside year round. They do totally fine because we don't get super cold here at all. Like, we might hit 32 degrees, and even on those nights that is gonna hit 32 degrees, we'll still leave them out. They have some very well insulated nests, and they also can go up into the roof and get away from any of that cold. So they just hang out. They're very sweet, and we We love them. Next question on that video was from Christy, and she had said, is the cinnamon roll recipe going to be in the cookbook? I bet it's delicious. I hope so. But she did tell me that it's like a family recipe, and so I don't know. I think if you guys comment enough and tell her to put that in the recipe book, that she would feel peer pressured. Because it's really good. Next question on the video was from Lonnie, and she had said, thank you for sharing your gardening. How often do you water newly planted bulbs? I don't water them even one time at all. Not even until they come up. We keep our irrigation off until, honestly, our irrigation pretty much stays off unless we go like a week without water. And if we're gonna go like a week without water, then we'll turn it on, and we'll turn it on for like a day here and a day there. But for the most part, our irrigation is off, and I let Mother Nature take care of the entire thing because I don't want those bulbs to rot. So hope that helps. Next question on that video is from Teresa, and she had said, are any of the bulbs you planted shade bulbs? Also, how do you get your oxalis so full? It's beautiful. Mine never looks like that. I know they say to like plant your tulips in like full sun and yada, 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 all that stuff. I don't always listen to a lot of the rules. So a lot of the bulbs that I'm gonna be planting are gonna go in an area where they're gonna get like morning sun. And honestly, I find that they last a little bit longer if they're gonna be planted there, especially because our springs are so warm so fast. So I try to plant them in an area that they are gonna get a little bit of shade. I probably wouldn't plant it somewhere like a woodland area where it's gonna get nothing but shade all day long. So full shade, no. Some shade, yes, 100%. I'll plant tulips and daffodils every single time in a shaded area. And then the other question about oxalis is we put it in a pot and it has directly ran to irrigation, and we do plant it in an area. We had one that was sitting in full sun, and it actually did really, really well until the middle of summer, and some of the leaves burned. So mostly shade, not full shade, but mostly shade, and a ton of water. They're actually popping up in our landscape now too. So they do really well here. I don't know if we're hands off on them. Last question on that video was from Gigi, and she had said, Robbie, you're so lucky to have a neighbor that shares her baked treats. We are so lucky. That friendship bread looks so yummy. Does she have a website or a vlog? She does not. She doesn't do either. I'm trying to convince her that she should be doing like TikTok videos. I think that she could do a really good job at making short little videos about how she quickly bakes things, because she loves cooking and she loves baking all of the time, and I think that she would be amazing at it. She just is able to just whip things up, and she'll often text me, hey, come to the fence. I told her that I was gonna put a window in our side fence so she could walk directly out her door, and she could put it on a platter, and our fence would like kind of fold down like a little window in it. She told me to do it, so we'll see. Maybe I will. But nope, no website, no vlog. I'm trying to convince her to do some type of social media because she is so good at what she does. Next video was it's time to decorate for the holidays, and I think there was only 1 or 2 questions on that video. So we're gonna blast through this one really quick. First question was from Anne, and she had said, you definitely have the holiday spirit, so much fun. Are you going to help Janie decorate for Christmas? I don't think so. I think she's now in a boot, so she's actually able to like walk, and she doesn't need the scooters that she has, which is really funny because last time I was down there, which was actually before I'm filming this video, so you guys will see it not this coming week, but you guys will see it the week after. She has 3 scooters, and it's the funniest thing ever. I'm like, do you really need 3 of them? She actually uses all 3 of her scooters. It's really, really funny. So no, I'm not gonna help her decorate. I think she's got it now that she's in a boot. She's able to get around a lot better. And the last question on the video is from Tanya. What kind of wire do you use to hang your lights? It looks like you're using it to hang the Christmas decorations also. That looks like a very good idea for me to try. We use green floral wire, and I think it's like 18 gauge or something like that, or 16 gauge. It's pretty thin and very easy to like flex around, and then I just use a pair of like little wire cutters. It's really easy. I use it all the time to hang. We use it for like Christmas ornaments on the tree. I use it for everything that I tied to the grapevine garland. I actually used that to also tie the grapevine garland to the house. Totally universal stuff. And I think we get it from like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Joann's, and I think it's like $6 or $7. The next video is trying to find some antique ornaments and setting up the new tree. And I love this tree so much. I haven't decorated yet. That's gonna get decorated after Thanksgiving. Probably the day before Thanksgiving. We'll see what happens. So First question on that video was from Rhonda, and she had said, where do you find your special flower pots? Do you have a potter that sells and ships to the public? I have bought some from Wakefield Homemade, and they are so beautiful. So a lot of the stuff that we find, we were getting from that company called Dos Amigos, which he was just down the street, and unfortunately he closed. It's where I got my lion fountain. It's where we got the lion fountain for Janie. It's where we got our bird bath, where we got the bench under the willow tree. It's where we got the big, huge concrete pots, the one that's in the driveway and by the arbor that we have. And he ended up closing down. So I'm not exactly sure where I'm gonna get any of these things anymore. A little bit sad, a little bit frustrating because he had such amazing prices. I think I paid like $100 for these giant concrete containers. So I'm gonna have to find somewhere else to find pottery and things like that, which I do have pretty much everything that I want, except for I would like to add more terracotta to the garden. So I think I'm good where I'm at, but I don't know anymore. I'm sorry. Next question on the video is from Dorothy, and she had said, hi Robbie, the Christmas tree is beautiful and one of the prettiest ones I've seen yet. Me too. It's really, really pretty. By the way, what discouraged you from the Goodwill store? Just curious. The Goodwill store just had nothing in it. Like, there was nothing there at all. It was like mostly clothes, mostly winter clothes, and not a single Christmas decoration. They had a couple like outdoor decorations and a couple Christmas trees. And I think for like the pre-lit Christmas tree, I saw one there and it was like $98 or something like that. And I was like, that's insane for a used pre-lit tree. And they had some of those like fake deer that have Christmas lights on them, and they wanted like $80. And I was like, no, I'm gonna go somewhere else. So that was the only reason. There just wasn't anything there. And that was the last question on that video. Let's go to the next video. The last video. Whew, okay. Last video was pruning my vitex and starting Lisianthus extremely early, and I'm so happy to get those started. It feels so weird. And they're sitting under the grow lights with the grow lights on 24 hours right now until they start to sprout. So let's just jump into the last video's questions. First question on that video is from Mystic Firefly, and they had said, Robbie, do you cover those Lisianthus seeds? Do you set the tray on top of a heating pad? I cannot wait to see your cypress get moved. Please show us. Hey Robbie, do you have any Gertrude Jekyll rose planted? Wow, okay. First thing, no, they're not covered. You can totally put a humidity dome on them. If you're going to put a humidity dome on them, keep it on there until you see all of them come up. If you leave it on past that, it creates too much moisture, and that's just bacteria growing there. So only keep it on for a short period of time. I just don't, because I don't have any and had really good success without doing it. On top of a heating pad, no, because they don't like to be too hot. They like to be kept around 70 up to 80 degrees maximum. And so our house is usually set to about 72. So I don't put anything on a heating pad almost ever, actually. We don't even own a heating pad also, so there's that. And Gertrude Jekyll rose. I do not have a Gertrude Jekyll rose. Not even sure which one that is. There's so many roses out there. I've heard the name a million times, but nope, don't have it planted. I don't even know if I have room for many more roses. We have like 14 on the property right now. It's a lot of roses. Next question on that video is from Progress Not Perfection, and she had said, hi Robbie and Brent, I wanted to know how often do you like to water your vitex in the fall and winter? Could you possibly do a video one day about watering your garden in the colder months? I never know how often I should water things when it gets colder, and I live in a very similar climate in California. Right now our irrigation is turned off completely because we are getting rain. So anytime that I see rain on the forecast in like a 48-hour thing, I turn off irrigation. I think I kind of just went over this earlier, but basically irrigation stays off most of the winter unless I see like a week of no moisture happening, which does happen during our winter months quite often. And then I'll turn it on for a day, and I'll turn it on for, you know, maybe 20 minutes. And other than that, then I shut it right back off and keep it doesn't need to go off that much. The moisture isn't wicking away. It's not hot. So once a week during a dry spell in the winter, and that's about it. It's pretty easy. And that's only if I notice like the ground is dry. If the ground is still soaking wet, I'll just go around the pots and I'll just use a watering can and get moisture to the pots. Next question on that video is from MK, and she had said, what type of maple do you have in your front garden, please? That is an October Glory, and it took 3 years for us to finally get some fall color on it. but it is so pretty. I'm really, really pleased with how pretty it is, except right now it's really windy, so we'll see if I have any leaves left on it after this storm. Next question on that video is from Aurora, and she had said, "Thank you for this video, very informative. I have 2 Vitex newly planted, maybe 6 months old. I was wondering when I should prune it. I'll prune it on Monday. I was wondering how old your tree is. Are they fast growing?" They're pretty fast growing. That was year 3 that we've had that in the ground. In year 2, it was huge. This year, it like exploded even more. First year, it didn't do a whole lot. And first year, I did do a little bit of pruning on it, but not a whole lot. Last year, I didn't do any pruning, and this year is when you guys just saw I did a major pruning. So they're pretty quick growing. I've seen some people have ones that were like 10 years old, and they were able to like really keep it in check, and it turned into like a really beautiful like specimen of a tree. Next question on the video is from Marlene, and she had said, "Can you please show us when you move them into a cell tray?" Yep, that will definitely be a video, and it probably won't be for 2.5 months before we even start thinking about transplanting those into a cell tray. Next question on that video is from Maria, and she had said, "Hi Robbie, love your maple tree. Do you think you can pull pictures of the Lisianthus and Vitex in bloom? I don't know what they look like." So I have a hard time pulling pictures for some of these things because I'm really bad at taking photos, because I take so many videos and then I clear my phone after like 2 weeks of doing all this like video footage. I need to next year be so much better about taking photos of things. I would say your best bet is just Google it. I don't want to pull pictures that aren't mine and upload them into videos. The only time I really try to do that is if it's from like a seed company and I specifically like talked about that seed company. There's a whole like copyright problem with like taking somebody else's photos and using them in my video, so I try not to do that very often. I do it, but I really try not to. So if I don't, just try to Google it, because it's kind of like a whole back end of YouTube thing of me like stealing someone's photos. So I will look through the last couple years and see if I have any photos, and I will pop them up on the screen if I have them right now. And the last question from this week was from Sandy, and she had said, "Morning, how do you water the seeds? I'm thinking a mister." Yeah, for the time being, I will just use a spray bottle, and actually Brent's taking care of it, and he goes through probably once or twice a day, depending on how dry they look, and just gives them a quick little mist. You don't want them like sitting in a ton of water, so just a little mist is easy, but you don't want them to dry out either. So that's the key. Keep them wet, but don't keep them sopping wet at all. All right, guys, that is it for this week. That was a busy week, and some of the things I had not planned for the week, but it worked out beautifully. So that is gonna be it for this video. Like I said before, if you guys wanna add your recipe to Karen's cookbook, drop it down below to her email, which is in the description. I can't guarantee all of them, but she definitely would like to add some of them. So that is gonna be it for this video, you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.